Christmas is my favorite time of the year. It's full of joy and love and beautiful things. I'm so excited, and I've always thought about how beautiful Christmas was. Christmas was always so special, and I have so many childhood memories. You can't even know how much, it really excites me. The thing is about Christmas is that it's absolutely gorgeous at this time, and it becomes double and triple because I'm at the gorgeous Taj. Now the Taj is supposed to be the most biggest, largest hotel in Kerala, mostly space-wise and ambience-wise. Through beauty, the spectacular ambience is gorgeous. Now if you take a look at the back of me, you can see a beautiful focal point. Now that is called the sandwich glass. The sandwich glass is supposed to be the focal point of this lobby area, and the Taj really exudes beauty and splendor. I'm at the gorgeous poolside of the Taj, and the air is full of festivity, and I can feel the spirit of Christmas. Now, what is Christmas? That Christians believe that Christmas is the birthday of Jesus Christ. That is the very essence of Christmas. And I'm going to take you through a cake galore, and that is 7 days of cakes. What else? Mouth-watering different types of cakes. And you're going to have a blast seeing me, and I'm going to have a blast making it for you. Today I'm going to make a very antioxidant type of cake, and well, it's full of fresh fruits. It's actually called, I can put a bit more yummier name, and that is a more of a fresh fruit gateau. For my fresh fruit gateau, what we need is to sieve the dry ingredients together. So let's start from that, okay? So we need to sieve all the dry ingredients. That is the flour. We need around 2 cups of flour. Now, what we actually need is cake flour, and since we don't get cake flour, I, Jagee, am going to show you how to make cake flour, which is very easy. So if you want 1 cup of cake flour, what we do is we add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and then the rest with flour. So easy, you get your cake flour. So here I'm going to add, just going to leave 2 tablespoons more, and I'll take my corn flour, just 2 tablespoons. That makes 1 cup. Put it in the sieve. Remember, we need 2 cups of cake flour. So again, 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, and the rest we need flour. Make sure your measurements are precise. That's always very important when you bake a cake. When baking is a very precise method. It's not like cooking. It's not like cooking other dishes, because baking involves very precise and very exact measurements. Unless you have exact measurements, it won't work out. You won't have the perfect cake. So in goes 2 cups of cake flour. So we put all our dry ingredients, and now all we do is sieve it. It's better if we sieve it 2 to 3 times to give it a lighter texture, to give the cake a lighter texture. But I'm just going to sieve it 1 time just to show you, okay? So let's sieve. So we sieved our dry ingredients. Now we'll keep it aside. and we'll start whisking our wet ingredients. For this, we need a bit of steam. So I'm going to on my cooker, okay? And what we're going to do is whisk our wet ingredients. That's essentially our eggs and sugar. We're going to whip it so that it becomes 4 times the volume, 4 times the normal volume, okay? So here, 4 eggs. Make sure it's fresh eggs. Always in baking, you should be very careful of the eggs, butter, everything should be fresh and of good quality. That ensures that you have very tasty cakes. Now we'll need a pinch of salt, just a pinch, and we'll need some sugar, around 1.5 cups of sugar. That is caster sugar. If you don't have caster sugar, you can use powdered sugar. Our water is steaming away, and it's just right because I need that steam. That's around 1 cup here, and we'll need a half more. There you go. And now what we're going to do, we're going to whisk the eggs and the sugar together, and the salt obviously, till it really doubles or become 4 times or how much ever. It should really bulk up. Now I'm going to show it over the steaming water so that it can hit the steam well. Now the steam helps the eggs to really whip up well. That's why we're steaming. We want some water. Make sure the base of the bowl does not touch the pan, because if it does, you end up with scrambled eggs, and that's not what we want. We just want a slight steam. It's like giving a facial to the eggs. Just take it out a little bit. Now, a lot of people complain about the eggy smell of the cakes. That is mainly because their vanilla extract may not be as good as it's supposed to be, or probably because it's less than the correct amount. So for this, you're supposed to add around 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now in this one, I've got a very good extract, which is actually a vanilla oil. Now it's much better than the ones we get here, but it's a very recently introduced product, and I highly recommend you use this extract. Again, back to the whisking. Now that eggy smell has changed into a vanilla gorgeousness. It's really smelling wonderful already. Just imagine after the cake. It's kind of heavy right now, so I'm going to switch over my hands. So that's bubbling away to glory. So this has now doubled up, okay? It's really doubled up. I'll just off this, and what I do is, now it's a different sort of process. What I do is, I need around 1 cup of oil. Any vegetable oil will do. No flavors should be there, like olive oil or coconut oil. Don't use any of that, but use a flavorless oil, like a sunflower oil, a canola oil, or anything. Now I've put it in a dispenser like this, which is very easy to squirt out. Now I'll need to do it in a stream or pour the oil in a stream into this mixture while I beat it with the other hand. So for that I need a dispenser like this because it makes things easier. So it's a bit like making a bit like mayonnaise. So that's exactly how I'm going to show you how to do it. So with one hand I have to whisk, and with the other hand I just have to squirt it out. Should be a gentle stream. Don't do it too hard. It can really test your patience. Now in this particular cake we do not have any fat in the batter, the cake batter, but we are going to fill it up and top it up with whipped cream. So because it's a rich cream, I decided to give a light sponge. Okay, so the texture should be like this. Yeah, it should be thick. That's how the texture should be. Okay, now we've mixed our wet ingredients and our dry. Now we're going to mix our dry ingredients into our wet ingredients very slowly, a tablespoon at a time or so, and we're going to beat it. Actually, we're not going to fold it. We're going to beat it very, very slowly, and then we're going to transfer it to a cake tin and bake it. So that's how our sponge is done. And let's now beat this. Okay, so we just take this, bring it over here. Okay, I'm going to beat it until all the flour has been used up, 1 tablespoon at a time. Beat it at low speed. So you'll need both your hands, your left hand and your right hand. So our cake batter is done, and to see the consistency of the cake batter, I'm just going to show you like this. This is how it will be. It will actually overlap each other when you pour it on, when you take it up and then pour it on. Okay, that shows it's done. Now what we do is we simply pour it into a prepared cake tin. I'm going to show you how to exactly line a cake pan. What we do here is I just fold this into two. It's a very simple method. Just fold this into two, and the spine side should be down. I'll fold it again here, quarters. And then what I do is I take this corner and I go down here so that it aligns with the bottom corner, bottom side. And no, I'm not making an aeroplane or a paper aeroplane, even though I'd like to. Then I'll just fold it one more time, and I get a small cone. Okay, it's easy to just throw it at you. Now what I do now is take the cake pan and I put it in the middle. Okay, and where it actually ends, I suppose this is the middle of the cake pan, and then where it actually ends, there I have to tear it, or with a scissor, there I just cut it, there, just throw that. Then what I do is invert it and just open it up And there I have my prepared cake pan. Now what I do is I have to grease it. Even though I do this, I have to grease it. So let's get my butter out here. And just grease the bottom and the top. Okay, yep, simple greasing would do. And there we prepare, or we pour our prepared cake batter into our prepared cake pan. So in that goes. Now all I have to do is put it in an oven, 180 degrees Celsius in a preheated oven, okay, for around 30 to 35 minutes, or until it's done, till the cake dish test is done. So I put it in the oven and we give it around 35 to 40 minutes to bake. Our cake has done. I've upturned it, and now I have to take out the paper, or the butter paper, and it's just. Now what I'm going to do is now cut the cake in half and soak it in orange juice. So there's a specific way of cutting the cake in half. Now what we need is, let me find my thread. Yeah, I need a cooking thread, a thick thread, and also a serrated knife. Now with the serrated knife, I'm just going to do a marking around the circumference of the cake, and that should be in the center. Okay, so just a marking. This is a very foolproof method. Make sure your knife is serrated, because if it's not serrated, it'll push the sponge in and it might damage the texture. So the serrated one actually allows a very clean cut. Okay, that's done. Now what we do is, we need a thick cooking thread. Now you can use this, I mean, you can get this in any stores. It's kind of thick. It's not like the thin stitching thread. The thin stitching thread might break when you do this. So that's why you need a kind of a thick thread. So we need, okay, so much. Then what we do is, we just keep it in the marking, or the indentation we just marked with the serrated knife. Let me see where it is. Yes. And then with the other side, just see what I'm doing. Till the two threads meet together, okay? Till the two threads meet together. Now once it's met in the middle, what we do is pull it across very carefully, pull it across the middle again. Okay, you might get some crumbs, but it's okay. Very carefully. And there, we've got two layers of cake. Now, you can just, yes, just keep it out here. And then what we do is, slowly soak in the orange juice. Now, if you don't have orange juice, you can use mixed fruit juice. You can also use milk, but be careful not to soak it too much, because it might break. Yep. There. And now what we do need is we have to put some cream on it, okay, some whipped cream. I have already whipped up some cream. Now we're going to put it on the bottom layer, and then we're going to scatter some fruits on it, and then we put our first layer of sponge. So here we go with okay, let's just get some more. Yep. And there we need a spatula. Here we just slowly spread the cream. Now don't spread it too much to the edges, because when we put our top layer, it might squelch and come out. So just enough. So I'll put some fruits on it. Now, like I said, I've got peaches, pomegranates. Pomegranates are a lovely fruit for Christmas because it shows the beauty and the ruby redness of Christmas, and it's a sort of joyful fruit. So I've included pomegranates in it. Lychees, pomegranates, cherries, you name it. Everything is there. That's why I call it the antioxidant cake. Yummy, yum. Okay, I think that's about enough. We'll keep the cherries for the top. Okay, just keep this aside. And then what we do is we're going to cover it up with the top sponge. Very easily, just slide the top sponge there. Now what we do again, we have to put some cream and then some fruits. So a little bit of cream. Yep. Just a little bit. Just in the middle, I'll tell you why. And once that's done, we'll again put our fruits on top. This already looks yummy, huh? That's why I call it my antioxidant cake. Now let's have a bit of whipping cream. Just pipe the whipping cream all around the cake. Now you don't have to coat the sides. You can if you want to, but I prefer not to, just to show that it's a double layer of 2 layers of cakes, and it's got a lot of fruits in it. Yep. So what we do, I'm just finishing off doing the last bit of the whipping cream on the edge of the cake. Otherwise it's done. Okay. Now our cake is complete. I have decorated it, and now I'm going to, furthermore, I'm going to decorate it with a red ribbon to really enhance the beauty of the cake. So I've got satin ribbon here, it's a red one, and I'm just decorating it just to give a festive look to the cake. Okay. And there. So my Christmas cake is ready. It's really decorated well, and I'm sure it looks really appetizing, and it's really, really, really gorgeous. You have to try it out. Since these are the Christmas days, this is a wonderful cake that I want to present you all with, because the festive.